case we there's a question that how did Nano's publicity went both good and bad for the organization. So Nano completely relied on the media's publicity because at the beginning of the launch, Nano thought that people were already aware of the Nano. The publicity of Nano has gone viral in the media and it was in its hyper stage. So they thought that it didn't require any marketing plan. They thought that just their USP of being the cheapest car would suffice, but that wasn't enough. So in some ways the publicity was doing good too. They didn't have to spend much time in advertisement and all the stuff because the buzz, the hype of the Nano in the media was doing itself, the buzz marketing itself. So Nano was everywhere in the news and it didn't have much difficulty getting customers. As for the data we have seen earlier, it already had 200,000 pre-bookings. And that's a huge number in terms of car, because cars, they are expensive stuff. Well, not Nano, but people booking more than 200,000 cars before it is done, that's a huge success for the Tata industry. Next. But there were some drawbacks or some flaws in that plan. Tata didn't think about what could the publicity do or how the publicity would backfire on them. Tata had no control over the media's publicity. So let's talk what happened. See, Tata Nano was just relying on the media's publicity. So when it planned, Ratan Tata thought that the idea came when Ratan Tata was constantly seeing families in scooters and bikes, 4 or 5 people, and the children sandwiched between the parents. He thought that that wasn't safe, especially during slippery nights. So he thought, why don't I bring a car that a poor man or the poor family or the middle class people can afford? So he thought that, and he thought only the price or the price tag would be enough. So after bringing out the cheapest car during Tata Nano's launch, media was already talking about the price. And when Tata Nano failed to meet some standard issues, so as already shown in the slide, people's psychology that they think that cheap goods are of inferior quality. सस्तोमा पाए पनि कि त त्यो खराब हुन्छ कि त सेकेन्ड ह्यान्ड कि त अरूले युज गर्छ क्या त्यो काम छैन. That's what people think. So अलिकति उ पाउने बित्तिकै ब्याक पोइन्ट अफ नेगेटिभ पोइन्ट पाउने बित्तिकै media was talking hyper hot. Media को कामै थियो. They just pull things like rubber band. They just stretch it as far as they can. And that made Tata Nano suffer. Next slide, please. Nano's resurrection. But despite the fact Nano wasn't banned, Nano is still doing its best to progress. So a step by Tata Nano to change Nano from a poor man's car to an awesome one. We just looked at how Tata Nano became Tata Nano, but now can Tata Nano make Tata Nano a yes and a warm welcome again in the market? So it has implemented various steps, added features, better feel, better quality, better engine, a complete makeover, and it targeted to the youngsters. There was a point how Tata Nano felt. So let's see. This is Tata Nano. These are the 4 wheels of Tata Nano. PPP. Let's take these 4 wheels as the 4 P's of marketing. So Tata Nano basically thought that only the price mix would be enough. Just being the cheapest car and people will buy it. Sasto sa hamle kina haru. But it doesn't mean that sasto hudema sablai kincha. Yeah, there are people, the majority of the Indian are 76% they are riding 2-wheelers, and more than 100 crore, 100 crores population, there are many people who are poor and who would love to have a car instead of bike. But just because of that, they wouldn't want a Tata Nano which is of low quality. Suppose some person is riding a bike, so he would surely love to ride a car if you can afford at the same price. So car ki lekin sa transport. Another thing is show off too. Yeah, some people might be so humble and they don't show off, but basically show off pani ho. So they don't want to, as discussed in the class earlier, sir kept telling that people are poor but they are never mentally poor. So मान्छे गरिब हुन्छ, गरिब भए पनि त्यसलाई गरिब हुँ भनेर देख्न सक्दैन. तर मिडियाले जब टाटा न्यानोलाई नै पोर म्यान्स कार गरिब रथ भनेर ट्यागलाइन आइदिन्छ भने यदि त्यो कार किनेपछि नि मान्छेले त्यसलाई हे गरिबले चढ्ने कारै चढिरहेछ भने पनि they won't buy Nano. They would prefer instead of a second hand Santro, second hand i10, second hand Hyundai, anything like that. So Nano, after that they targeted to the youngsters, and let's see that what the data shows. Don't play that once. slide. Next slide. Okay, the slide isn't so, but there was a graph or a table that showed the potential, that shows the rise of the Indian automobile market. So it was going in this manner.
Already run out of time, you know that. Like I said, I don't have to debate, just get to the point and try to finish it in time.
Okay. Now let's see, does Tata Nano have a potential? Ratan Tata said that Nano was not a flop. It just lost an early opportunity due to marketing issues and due to initial mistakes in positioning. Slide. Oh, there is it. So as you can see that the automobile industry is growing in a trend and it is surely to reach some point here at today's time. So Nano does have a potential. So it takes a little time, it takes a little patience, it takes a little more effort. So Nano can increase the price a little bit and make sure that the design gets better too. Because basically Tata Nano looks like a cube enlarged in 3 dimensions. If everybody would criticize the design because it looks like more kind of like not a car but a Thapa. So as you can see, here are the comparison of the new Tata Nano Twist that Tata has bought. The mileage is 25.35 km per liter, and that's a huge point for the Indians because they are very mileage conscious. We can see all the other ads. There is Akshay Kumar saying "Sat" on that scooter, and there is another Bajaj Platina mileage king 94.6. But they had gone way too far, and there is a scientist that shows rocket spaceship, and one Indian is like, "Kitna deti hai?" That's an ad for Maruti. So mileage is very conscious. Indian people are very conscious about mileage. So Tata Nano gives mileage that's comparatively greater than its near competitors, Alto 800 and Alto 800 LXI. So these data shows that the new Tata Nano Twist has really done some improvements, has really made it far, and that can still have a great potential in the future. So these are the web sources I used, and I'd like to welcome all my team members up to the stage. So I'd like to end this presentation with a quotation. Never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass. Anyway, it was by All Nightingale. So Tata Nano does have some problems, but if it put some effort, it put some time and patience and little money and made it a little expensive but a little better car, then it will surely have a great future. Thank you. And any questions?
Few of the slides, I have few comments about your presentation. Presentation in general went flawless, and the few additions that you did apart from the rest of your friends' presentations, that I appreciate the kind of comparison that you showed. Wow, the new brand. Can you go back to that slide? Can you go back to the slide? Now this slide is very helpful to understand how Tata Nano is repositioning itself, isn't it? How it has made improvements in the product. Like I said, I have been asking this question to many. I think I do not have any question for you right now. And is it price that is very important to sell a product? Obviously not in the case of Tata Nano, right? So the thing is that they have improved their product themselves because they do not want to sell a car which is supposed to be a poor man's car, right? So they have made improvements, and what sells in India, like Pritam said, is the important part of selling a car in India, car or any automobile, is mileage, isn't it? How much mileage? That's very important because most of the population that drives a car in India comes under a middle class, a lower middle class, which are very much price conscious and which are very much conscious about the operational cost of a car, and mileage being one of the most important parts. And it has also given that AMC that Maruti does not have, and the warranty is doubled, isn't it? Instead of 40,000 kilometers, they are giving 60,000 or 4-year warranty. So that is how we see the future of Nano Twist getting better. It might right some of the wrongs that they have done, right? So thank you so much.